My name is Benjamin Tuttle, and I'm going to show you how to do fighting scenes, where to get mocap, and how to frame fighting scenes. Right now, I actually will be sharing a link here to Facebook and giving a couple links here. Perfect, everything is good, mic quality is fine. Sorry, let me just turn down the fan a bit. It's getting that time of year where it's a little hot, but let's have a look here. And we're about to get everything set up. I got 40 tons of grease. I know what the fix is, and I will tell you when I get back. When I'm done with this live stream, I know exactly what it is. I'll cover it pretty soon. I'll cover it later, but yes, I do know what it is. I'm just kind of getting everything set up. And here, let me just go ahead and share this here. Seeing how everybody is. If any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll get started. Alrighty, and yep. Okay, so fighting scenes are kind of difficult to do in iClone, but however, thanks to iClone 8, it's a lot easier now, and there's a couple other methods too as well. But the first thing is where to find motions, how to get mocap. Even keyframing animations is a little difficult, but there's ways of doing it. I'll kind of walk through just quickly, but tonight will be a focus of what you can do and how do you frame a fight scene in iClone. If anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. And oops, I forgot. I should actually start. I promised I would do this. I'm sorry. So let me just try loading up my Discord here, and everything should be okay. If anyone has any questions, yeah, let me know. So we're gonna be talking about basically fighting scenes right now, where to go for mocap and everything. Let's get this started. I'll probably cut this or so. We'll see. Basically, fighting mocap here, I have a set from Unreal. And this one's actually pretty good, actually. I recommend it. It's, let me get a link. It's called Counters and Finishers by QRT Nickel. So let me give you a link here and where to find them. There's a couple of references. One here is here. This one is a pretty good one here. Hey there, what's going on? He has a video that kind of goes through all of his finishers. He also has a set of fight animations. I believe it's $49.99, I believe, or including tax, so it might be a little more. I think it's worth it. It's pretty well made. And he has a set of 15. He has a set of finishers. I think it's 10 finishers, 15 counterattacks, and 5 of them, including like suplexes and random stuff like that. The other reference I would strongly recommend is a user by the name of Kuboldt, who does work in Unreal and Unity. He has his own mocap setup, pretty advanced. There's a bunch. There's rifles, pistols. Not only that, but he always has sales. So it might be a little bit pricey, but just wait till Unreal has a sale, which is usually around the beginning of the month or so. I'll probably keep an eye out, and I'll probably post in my community chat every time Unreal has a sale, or any freebies worth looking into. I'll keep an eye on that. But Kuboldt has pretty good references. One is he has fighting, which is pretty decent. I own this one. There's a lot of kicks, punches, and a few other things here as well. There's a YouTube video. So let me actually go to this one. Let me drop the link down here below for anyone who wants to look at it. Got a few more here. One is from they do also do. Do you ever live link to Unreal? Yeah, I don't really do Unreal. I don't really do the live link. What I do is what I normally do is take an FBX animation. So I take like I do like an FBX animation. I save it as a Motion Plus, and pretty much bring it out to Unreal, and then I retarget the animation. That's basically how you set up animate. That's how I kind of set up my Unreal setup here. Live Link isn't that great. I think it's great for, isn't great for final production output. Let me just say that. There's a little bit of lagging issues. It's great for previs or if you have any background characters, but for like a complete, like if you want to do something like a cinematic, or if you're looking to do any major productions, I would go with the FBX method of just exporting the FBX with the Motion Plus, of course, because you need to bake the animation, and just kind of retargeting it to your character animation. Now, Unreal 5 is a little bit different than Unreal 4, and I'm still in the process of making a video going through a couple of major things right now. One of it is just that I have some client work right now that I need to get take care of first before I do tutorial stuff, so that always comes first. But yeah, I think I'll have to walk through it. I'm still going through the process, knowing the differences between 4 and 5. 4.27, I already have a video that kind of showcases how to do it. 5 is a little different because you have to make an IK setup for it, and it's a bit, and not only that, but there's a couple of things that you need to do as well. So that's basically to hopefully that answers your question. I don't really, the only time I'll live link if I have to do previs or something, but it's very, very rare. Most of the time I have everything all set up in iClone and I export it. So yeah, there's another site called We Make the Game, who has a great he does a lot of keyframing, or wherever the studio is. They're out in Korea. They do a lot of keyframe animations. So if you're looking for, I'm using the superhero set, which actually, let me go show you kind of a link to a video down below of an example here. Perfect. So let me show you here, and this is just kind of what to expect. This is from We Make the Game. And this will give you a lesson here. Punch, that's it. So maybe I should, perfect. Yeah, I'll definitely save this live stream. So yeah, We Make the Game has a pretty good set of mocap. Usually it's also on sale as well. So if I'll kind of post like announcements anytime it's on sale. So there's a couple other vendors. I've yet to check out mostly. I've been mostly on the Unreal side than Unity. So if there's anything on Unity, I'll keep an eye on it and see if there's anything good. Last but not least, a good. Obviously, you have Revolution, but there's also one more. Is Modus or Mocap Online? Great animation packs. I think they're really well done, and they have a really good fighting set. One I have the punches, and they have starters. So obviously, it's $5 if you want to give a shot. To like Pro, which has like 300 animations. One is Ninja, which is pretty good. There's actually, we can load up their 3D viewer, and I could show you. So if you really want some good mocap, I think Mocap Online. They have done video games and like a lot of professional productions. Huge mocap setup. They have like their own little studio. It's just, check out their behind the scenes work. It's pretty amazing. They do take their craft very seriously. So I'll give you an example here. A couple of things you need to know before we start is iClone has some kind of root bug. It should be actually, they don't really do as much hands, but their motions are very, very smooth here. So obviously you can actually edit the actually, yeah, they do have pretty good hands as well, but yeah, you can have gestures and everything. So Modus is great at what they do. Actually, like, there's one that I really like. I actually want to show you all of this. So let's just do, they have like little flips and everything. And yeah, you're gonna have to align to rut. Now, apparently, I've heard it's getting fixed. So, great work, I think they do. I don't really have the Pro set. I have a starter. I might be upgrading to Pro soon, because I do need an animation with this. If you want to keyframe it, it's a little difficult. I've done punches and basic kicks. There's a couple of books that kind of refer to this. I have a few of my own. With definitely Getarobo Shun has a couple because he recommended these to me. Is anime kits. So basically, they have these little poses that you can work with, and I tried out a couple myself. It's a lot. I've done this since 7. It was a little difficult to do, but it should be a lot easier in 8 because they have a lot more tools. Especially the main challenge I had was the foot slides and everything. But now with motion correction, it would make your job a lot easier. Not only that, but what you could probably do is, I don't know, you could probably take a picture of these, of the books and everything. But yeah, dodges. Anything dodge-wise, not only that, but I also have a setup here of my own. I have a Mocap setup, but it's very basic. It's only for upper body. It's called Glycon 3D. It's used off of a Oculus Quest, which I've actually had pretty good luck. Like I haven't worked out with 8 yet. I've been doing it with 7, but I'll have to test it out and tried like a couple of things out, like ducks and basic dodges or kind of basic conversations with it. So there's a couple of methods here. So that's kind of my references for fighting animations. Yeah, I should fix this here. So we'll actually look at a couple of animations and motions, and actually let you know. We'll get down to the main event tonight, which is, how do you frame this? How do you frame fight scenes? And this one, I haven't really done this as much with iClone 7 or than now with 8. Now there's much more tools. It's going to be a lot easier. So how do you frame a fight scene? There's a couple of things I kind of strongly recommend here, and I would watch like old movies. Like a good example is something like Hard Boiled, the hospital shootout scene, or a couple of fighting scenes. There's kind of a pattern, especially, and I think Hollywood films, especially films from that try to, I guess, put more attention to the camera, I guess, and make the camera tell the story instead of the other way around. I think they tried too hard at moving around and swinging quickly, and at times it works, at times it doesn't. But frankly, how I frame any scene really is my camera isn't driving the story. Really, when it comes to when I frame, or when I make a shot, or when anything, when I'm preparing for something, it always is the camera is the reflection of the story and the action and anything in front of the lens. I don't let my camera dictate or tell the story, or be the main drive of it. I don't like the camera taking too much attention away from everything else. And I'll kind of show you an example here, and this is something I see with iClone filmmaking. This isn't so much fighting, but I see this a lot. Yeah, some fighting, some action, where the camera just wanders. And I see this, and sometimes I've seen this a lot. I've had some critiques about this in Hollywood films. So, when we film here, so I have something like this. So we see this. I see this a lot. Or the camera will just kind of swing like this. And I see iCloners just do this a lot. And what it does, so it kind of takes away the attention from the actors. And really, the camera is pretty much forcing itself on the scene. And I don't like working with that. I don't think, and I like anything, even story-wise, even if they're having a conversation scene, when I frame, when I set up the scene, I want you to get the impression that you're watching. That when two characters are sitting down and talking, you kind of see this with a lot. They don't really stare directly, but you feel like you're there. You feel like you're in the scene, in the moment, and it's a great way of connecting the audience. And I think like over stylized dynamic motions takes away from that. And a good example is me and a couple people were talking about this years ago. Is that the raid is pretty good. We were talking like, I think we were talking about Michael Bay, who basically all he does is dynamic shots. Every single shot of his has to be dynamic. And what it does is it kind of spoils everything. And I've mentioned this before with J.J. Abrams and Mission Impossible 3, how he abused the close-up so much when he needed it most, it didn't have the same magic as before. Michael Bay's similar with how he frames his shots, and it's even worse from his supposedly knockoff directors like Jonathan Liebsman, who frankly, tries way too hard to be like Michael Bay. Except that he doesn't have the parallax, or he doesn't have like the sense that Michael Bay does. Like Michael Bay does like the same shots over and over and over and over again. You'll notice it in his movies. And I mean, if you really want to go for style, go for someone like Tony Scott, who uses storytelling, and he blends storytelling and his filmmaking. I mean, Tony Scott is a way better filmmaker, I think. If you're looking for stylized action and great storytelling, even though he has had quite a few misses, but I think everybody feels like that every single shot needs to be dynamic in an action scene, or every single shot has to be over the top stylized, and it just doesn't work out very well. And frankly, I think it kind of spoils it, especially with the fights. And so tonight I'm going to show you how I approach a fight scene. So I'm kind of studying this, and let's go and just get rid of this camera angle, because I don't like these kind of camera angles. I don't like them. I think it's way too distracting, and you don't want your camera to be distracting. You want to like the audience to feel it. So how I frame this is I'm going to just delete this camera angle, and let's just go look at this motion a couple of times. Oh, let's delete the camera, get rid of the action. And how would I frame this? I wouldn't frame it like from one angle or anything like that. Even far away, there's no investment if you do this. There's really not much of an investment. I mean, the animation's fine, but there can be something more to engage. Otherwise, it just seems a little boring. So how would we frame this fight scene? And I'm going to actually do one take. Normally I do two. Well, I probably will do set up two cameras for this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it in a little closer. I want you to I want the audience to feel every single hit. I want you to feel every single hit. So, boom. All right. So we're getting there, but it's just not there yet. So let's look at the action carefully. Let's carefully scrub through this. So he takes a swing. Boom. And you also want to do this from an angle, especially if you don't have let's use an example. Like any action movie or professional wrestling has the camera set up in a way so the character, they're not exactly getting punched in the face, but it gives you the impression they're getting punched in the face. So when you're animating a character, especially when there's a hit, there's another thing I noticed a lot of people seem to miss. There's no facial reaction to getting hit. And it's a little difficult, I'll be honest. I kind of cheat and go with the face mocap. So when a character gets hit, I make, you have a quick expression, like they feel it. Because that's the impression. You want them to feel like the hit. You feel like, whoop, they feel like they're in the scene here. So here they make the first dodge. So what I might do is, let's go back to my camera and let's get this properly set up here. So let's bring this here and let's bring in the camera. something like this. So let's see. Let's just scrub through the timeline. Okay. What I might do is I'm going to kind of step the camera back just a little bit, like you're dodging too. So let's try that here. Boom. So they dodge here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a little camera trick here. That sometimes when it comes to like when you're going to notice me doing this, what I do is I copy this keyframe and I just paste it a couple of frames here. What it does, it offers a little pause. Boom. You kind of see it here. So and this is the part where I might switch my camera. Or actually I might not. Yeah, I might actually change the camera here. So let's add another camera. And let's change it from the other side. Now this is to kind of avoid little mistakes. Obviously, what I like to do is I like to do a camera setup here. Boom. And especially for something like this. So let's get our framing here. Make sure everything is fine. And you want to keep your characters towards the center of the action here. Like the center of the frame. The reason why is just a lot easier, especially if you're doing quick cutting. A film like Mad Max Fury Road does this very well. You see, he kind of misses here, so what I might do is let's bring in our character maybe like 2. And let's just get rid of that transform. So, yeah, you're going to have to make like adjustments in the motion layer. So, but for now, let's just kind of show you how to frame it here. So, I'd like to do is just move a little bit up here. Boom. So, copy, paste, and boom. Just a little bit here. Boom, boom. Yeah, you're going to have to fix that there, so let's put him back a little bit more because that's really distracting. Boom, boom. So when he socks him, what I might do is, like I said, we're going into the viewpoint of the audience. Normally, this is where I would actually, what I might do is I'm going to be very careful how I do this. So let's have the mini viewport into the camera. And just slowly go down here and just a little bit down. Boom. And then when he takes the swing, right there, and you see the fist, and then so we'll do that here. Obviously you need to fix that keyframe animation there. What I like to do is swing down here. Boom. Kind of feel it right there, especially boom. And then as that's where I'm going to cut back to my camera. So if we do a switcher, so let's actually go to our switch. Boom. And then maybe boom. Kind of feel it right there. You feel it right there. Just boom. You know, a really good punch. You feel it. That's where you really want to feel it here. And that's like that's really important. Like, you really want to feel it just right there. You know how it just was carefully boom right there. And then now we go to the final camera. So what I'm going to do is go to my final camera, and you're probably not going to see this, but just let's see what motion here. Gonna feel it. Sorry. So this one this one's a little tough with uppercuts. In fact, I might add a third camera into this equation. So let's add another camera to this equation. How would I frame it here? Let's frame this way. Boom. Boom. Sorry. Yeah. Let's try this one here, just see how this works. Maybe I'm not too happy with the framing here. Just, do you know how to use collision from objects? Yeah, it's through this reach target here, and they have it for certain body parts here. And, well, I have to look through here. Sorry. Kind of. Yeah, I'll probably have to go through this layer, but go through the reach target here. Whoop. I need to go back to my camera. Ugh, that's an ugly angle. And I would definitely take this into a curve editor and smooth it out. So let's just take this out here. Yeah, definitely smooth this out here. Same thing for here. Really shouldn't worry about this too much, but it gives you an idea what to look out for here. Yeah. And that's the fight scene, I guess. And then I'll probably just frame it like this. I don't know. You know, something like that. So, try again. So I'm going to run through an experiment, just put my mouse and the cursor in play. Everything's in the center. You know exactly where it is. Easy to track, boom, boom, and punch. And not only that, but there's kind of like a seam right there. You can feel it, it has its own rhythm. 1, 2, 3. There's just a little rhythm here, and it kind of plays around, especially when you're editing. But it definitely makes a huge impact than just like moving a camera and swinging around. If there's a lot more invested. That's how I kind of approach a fight scene. So you kind of feel it here, like you're watching. Just like that. So let's actually go through the next fight, the next motion. I mean, if anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. Anyone wants to go? Let's go through motion number 9 here. So let's have a look. So let's go through motion number 9, and let's just delete everything. And go back and delete our cameras. And let's actually let's just delete every animation here. And let's set everything back. And this one might have a problem. Yeah, I can see where the issue lies. The rut, that rut problem. So let's try this. And number 9 is going to be our motion. And then we're going to do number 14. Okay, we'll see how this works. In action. Now, not as much. It's been kind of stable for me. So this one I'm probably going to do with one take. Like I said, this one I'm going to keep to the actor. And let's keep our focal length to 80. So this one here, right through here, and boom, and boom. And when this character, what I'm going to do is keep here, and what I'm going to do is rotate the camera by, let's go with 15 degrees. Oops, sorry. Let's go with 95, 92. 91. Let's go with 91. Might change my focal length, but let's see. I'll go with 85. And we'll bring our camera down to like 50. Oop, maybe not that. Maybe that's a little too much. But I'm gonna change my focal length. Or I'm just, you know what, let me go bring it back just a little bit here. So let's see. Maybe a little more. And so when he kicks, let's get the camera just a little bit up. Let's go with 94. That little pause. Give the camera some pause. And maybe just a little bit here to 92. And let's bring it down to like 90. And then what I'm going to do, and this won't give you like a little shock here, like you feel the impact being kicked. Boom, 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 like that. And you kind of feel it. And yeah. And then I probably would bring it out here. Not too much to reveal the mistake, but yeah. You kind of feel it there. Do is probably bring it down to 55. Nope, 60. Kind of feel it, you know. What I'm trying to do is give something like that. Something like that. You know. Really, maybe even like what I would probably do just to cheat a little bit is have an angle where you kind of hide it here. So let's just go and create a new camera. And what I'm going to do is set up here towards the center, of course. So just the right edit here so you can see everything. So if we cut here, so let's operate in our preview. You can do, I mean, this is one of those instances where you can be stylized, and you can also hide things. It's always, that's the fun thing about iClone. You can hide things that you aren't supposed to see. So let's just run our switcher. The only thing I would do is, under this circumstance, I would just kind of put him towards the center. Or close to it. That way, you know, kind of matches the frame here. Yeah, we can try close up here. Actually, you know what? Why not just give a little magic here? Ah, right there. Yeah, that impact, right? Or we can move it here. I mean, that's the beauty of editing it. You can feel it, yes. You can feel the impact right there. I think that could work. Boom. You know. Yeah, that definitely works. That definitely feels better. When you do you import your set and props into like I build my set in Unreal and then I make like little dummies for them to interact, then I bring it out. I don't have to bring, like, for certain props, if characters are sitting or interacting with the props, I would bring it into iClone, but I won't do a whole set because it's kind of unless they're interacting with it. But I would put in like basic dimensions. Like if I know something is like 50 meters or sorry, 5 meters. Yeah, you definitely can feel that impact, especially just moving the camera up and down or shaking it just a little bit adds a little bit of an impact. Like you feel it. Like you feel it. Like if you can make the audience feel it, they're hooked into it. They really are. Alright. Is it just me or it takes forever to import? I've been having issues with the at times. Like, I mean, FBX, it does take times moving. Yeah, you can lose quality, but actually, I do all my set design in Unreal. Like, I get all my props from the marketplace, and the only thing I kind of worry about with iClone, if I have to do anything, is just the characters. So you can boom, you can feel Not only that, but kind of watch where it is in the frame. So I'll just put my my mouse in here. See, center, easy to track, easy to follow. You can make quick cuts. Just remember that it doesn't need to go off one direction. It just, as long as it's center, boom, 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 boom. You can. All right. Just that, you know, that feeling right there. I mean, this is a great asset pack. I'm going to be using it quite a lot. Will I bring? Let's see. Let's see here. Let's look up the next one here. Okay, I think we had enough of this motion here. They had a grappling move. I think it's number 14. This one I'm going to introduce another one. You can make something like the movie 300. Yeah, you can actually. What you do is, for slow motion, you can... Well, yeah, you can also make the character slower as well. What I'd like to do for slow motion is I can bring something in. Yeah, to get that Zack Snyder effect, what I would do is I would frame in like let's say 200. We're doing 24 frames per second. I would render something maybe 120 frames per second for the slow mo. And I think a major mistake people make with slow motion when it comes to rendering anything video-wise is that they just take a regular maybe 30 frames per second or 24 frames per second and they just stretch it out in the post-processing thing. Now keep in mind it's going to look very choppy, but if you want very smooth slow motion, yeah, you can play with the speed in 60. Yeah, I like to do like anything like let's say if I'm rendering 24 frames per second, I do 48, or I would do maybe like anything in multiple things like 48 or 96 or 120, and just depends on what I want to do is 5. Yeah, when they render in like 30, they slow it down. It makes it choppy. But if you render in, let's say, your project's in 24, and you render 48 frames per second, you can slow it down twice, and it's actually going to be it's going to be smooth. It's going to run pretty well. I have a video kind of demonstrating on slow motion. I rendered something at 120 frames per second compared to like 24, and you can tell like how smooth the animation is and how it plays out pretty well. So, I mean, slow motion, like there's certain ideas, and I actually do have a couple ideas for slow motion. Like I do for my next feature, I want to play with it a little bit. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Alright, so let's do number 14. And I don't know how well this is going to work. And let's just put this in 180. And this one is... You know what this move is. Jada, if you're watching, you know what this move is. Yeah, so let's actually play around and let's play around with this this set here, because yeah, you could tell there's some serious issues. So let's try out that reach motion target thing. Yep, it's our good old friend the suplex. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll give you a link to it. There we go. Yeah, let's see if we can fix this reach target thing for him. So this is where I'm going to actually start here. So let's start with the hands. Now this might be a very simple set, so I'm not sure how it will work, but there you are. We'll have to play with the reach here. And then this one here we'll select here, and then see if that one causes problems. We'll set our reach. This one would be one of those things I would probably hide. I would definitely probably hide this motion or do a lot of tweaking in the motion editor. Yeah. So let's just go and adjust our reach here for him. It takes some time here just to play around with it. But in fact, let's actually just turn off the bone here for you. So you play around just like this, and it just takes some just getting used to. Really, that's how you kind of do our little suplex here. So, boom. And then I'm going to make him release it and release this here. Yeah, it's our good old friend. You know, we make the game has like wrestling moves too. So if anyone wants to do a pro wrestling movie, go ahead. Now you can do it. Like I could even show you where the pro wrestling moves are for We Make the Game. Here, I'm gonna pull that up right away if anyone wants to. I helped like write like I was doing like editing a script for pro wrestling. I don't know whatever happened to it, but it's gonna be interesting. So it's a little pricey, but they have all the moves for anyone who wants to do a pro wrestling style video. Same applies, you know, for any fight scene. So I mean, this could be used for dancing or hugging or kissing somebody. You just got to make the adjustments in the reach target here. Right now, we're just giving somebody a classic. In fact, right here, this is where I hope their arms are not causing too much. Oh yeah, these. The dumb, bad program. You gotta release. Release. Oops, sorry. Not the hip, not the hip. There we go. Hitting the limit here. How do you export to iClone? I never used animation from Unreal. It's surprisingly easy. What you do is, for any set of motions, you just bulk export as an FBX, and then you can just bring it into iClone. You just take a normal character like Kevin or whoever, and then you group them all together, give you a setting, so it's the second one down, and then you just import, and that's it. And it'll save it here, so it'll save it into this custom folder, but you want to make sure you want to be, you want to get everything organized. Very easy to do. Oops. So how am I going to frame this scene? Oof. What happened there? How am I going to frame him? Oh, I know. I think I have an idea. How do you frame a German suplex? How do you frame? I'm gonna give it a shot here. This one's gonna be kind of a challenge. And I think I know how to do it. Yeah, what I would do is I would get a desktop. And it depends. Are you going into Unreal or are you going into iClone? What kind of production output are you looking into? Let me know what you want to do. Like, are you looking to filmmaking? What are you looking to, which final output do you want to work with? How am I going to do this scene here? Let's make first I'm going to make my dummy. Razer now, I've upgraded to 60 frame. That's something with a nice CPU. I think this is. Oh, you're using a laptop. Oh no. I would I would never use a laptop ever again. I would not ever use a laptop for production. I have bad experience. I used to do a lot of 3D rendering in an old compact computer. It got so hot the rubber pads melted off. So I learned that everything heats up and it just fried everything. You need something with a lot of space, like a tower. What I recommend is kind of get like a tower PC, I mean, the first question is, are you near a micro center? And that's what I would ask here. Are you at a, do you have access to a micro center? Let's see. You're in LA. Yeah, you should definitely have one. Yeah, there's one. There's also one in... Yeah, there's one near Santa Monica. But it's more... No, sorry. There's one in Tustin, California, so it's a little bit of a drive out, like out towards Irvine. But what they do, it's really recommended for... Like, I would strongly, if you want to build your own PC, a Micro Center would be a good bet because they have good CPU and motherboard combos there that even like some places like Newegg can't really beat. They have pretty good staff there that will tell you anything. What I recommend right now is... I would look into a tower. They're going to have there's rumors of having a 4090 come out soon. So that would probably be in August. I would wait and see, actually. I'll have to find out more news about this. But there is apparently a new graphics card coming out soon. So I would kind of see see what it takes, or the 3090s, the really big stuff is going to need a major, like a huge tower. Plus you have a lot of airflow. Yep. Hopefully they won't have any trouble, like no selling out or anything like that. Micro Center's pretty good on that. They always have they have limitations what you can buy, like per customer and everything. All right, so where's my dummy? So let's go through one little camera trick here. So does this guy have his dummy here? Would do. Yeah, I would probably fix that later on, but this is like, I have a 2080. I have an RTX 2080. It could, I mean, if you're using a laptop, it's not really good for rendering. I would strongly recommend something with a lot of airflow. Now, keep this in mind too. Rendering anything in H.264 will cause your CPU to overheat. And you want a really good fan. Trust me, I used, like when I first got my motherboard and my CPU, or my older CPU, my i7 at the time, it would always overheat and shut everything down. Like computer would constantly shut down every time I render. And I didn't know at the time, because I didn't know much like about building PCs, and talk to somebody like, yeah, what H.264 will do is it'll overheat your CPU and your computer will go panic mode because you just have basically the stock cooling fan. So I upgraded to a larger fan and pretty much fixed a whole lot of things. So yeah, you're going to need a lot of spare airflow. Even with decent, even decent things, you still want your PC to run pretty well. You want good airflow, otherwise things overheat. Also, components could fry out to like what happened to my laptop. I just don't like. I just have like ever since then. But even then, I was running on an old HP compact computer as well, and that thing was a piece of crap. But hey, no worries. I'm still kind of going through a couple scenes here. So let's actually go through the ball here. So what I'm using with the ball, and I'm actually going to make a second camera. And let's just make one camera here. Actually, I've never done an orbit camera, but we'll play around with it. This is here. And we'll just do something like that. Yeah, I'll show you what it's like here. So it kind of has this weird little effect here. So what I like to do is, let's go to camera 1 and let's have this ball animation. And let's rotate by 90. And we'll do kind of feel it here. A little bit. Obviously the animation will need to be fixed, but you see the camera. Expand this remote by 800. Let's see what the camera's doing here. It's basically creating a rotation here. And this also kind of fixes a bug I've seen with iClone, especially when you're rotating the camera. Gives you an idea of what to play around with, and it's not the best shot, I'll be honest with you, but it's more stylized. I mean, H.264 is what you recommend. I mean, it's not too much of a problem as long as you have a decent cooling system. Like if you have an aftermarket cooler, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But if you're rendering in a laptop, that's when I would kind of get a little nervous about. I would definitely strongly recommend getting a really good aftermarket cooler. YouTube likes H.264. That's probably the best bet. You could try. You really like a version like ProRes MOV is like production standard, but to be honest with you, that carries a lot of memory and it's not really meant for YouTube. So I would just look into getting it if you don't have a good cooler, or even like a decent fan or something, I would look into it. I wouldn't I was rendering like 4K stuff and it was kind of that was having problems. I mean, you can render in H.265, which will give you, which is kind of a new format. It's just recent. That's more if you're working with HDR video. But that itself is a little new, I guess. I started experimenting and playing around with H.265, but I don't think many people have an HDR monitor. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think this would work. Boom. It kind of feels. Oh, let's try another animation. What you got for me, fighter set? What's that one I done for? Fork fans. Yeah, I mean, all I worry, like the main concern is you have a pretty good fan for your CPU. Done 7. Let's do 5. I like 5. Let's actually fix the ball. Yeah, something like this would be interesting. Boom. That over the top here. I think this could have. I mean, you can just gotta fix the animation a bit, but yeah. I think I'm gonna try 5. Yeah, let's try 5 one more time. One last one, we'll try number 5. Hopefully this is a good lesson for everybody, like how to animate fight scenes. I would kind of keep it, like I said, keeping the audience, keep in perspective, like a viewer. You can be dynamic, but you don't want to go overboard with it. Any questions, let me know. Let's see. Thank you. It'll be fun. It's a lot of fun doing this. Like all these little, like my next couple of productions are gonna be kind of fun to do. I have one that I've been trying to get off the ground for some time, and it just, I don't think I can do it without 8. 7 would have been a little tougher to do. So let's do. Not that. Yeah. So let's do one angle here. And this is the one I've released earlier. And I know I've done this before, so I'd keep everything to one angle. And I would keep it to one character. So. Boom. So I would kind of slowly adjust here. Add the pause. Remember, add the pause here. And then I would kind of bring down the camera angle just slightly. So let's do 90. And then once he jumps, the camera will look up. Push out slightly. Yep. Pretty much. And then I'll probably put this at maybe like a 30. A 35 or so. And try this out here. Let's keep my lens. I would have to change the lens here. Probably do a lot better in this angle, but ugh. Even then, I'll probably raise it just a little bit here. Yeah. Anything, yeah, it can be. Not only that, but I mentioned facial expressions too. Right there. Yeah. You can. Yeah. I don't know, not the best framing, but kind of similar. Gonna keep an eye on the framing. I'll probably bring the camera down if I could. Especially some of the angles here. Probably add the second frame of him getting kicked, but I kind of feel it. So I just I'll probably do like a lot more here, but it's kind of the follow the action. I'll see if I can have more later on, but I think that does it for me. If anyone has any other like questions, concerns, or anything like that, yeah, I could probably do a lot better with this angle, but you kind of get the point here. It's just I like to do everything. I like to have the audience feel it, so I think the first one was a pretty good example. But yeah, feel free if anyone has any questions. Feel free to give me a shout out. My Discord as well. I'm online right now. Actually, I was on the stream for a bit, but yeah, I still am. But if anyone has any questions, yeah, probably do like a private stream or something through Discord. So I'll probably announce that eventually. But yeah, hopefully gives you everything you need to know. Thank you for watching.